Hello, Amanda New Earth here, 21st of March 2022. And today marks the 7 weeks ago I landed in Canberra after 2 days travelling to arrive and be welcomed in by Sister Cindy. And I just wanted to reflect on it. And as I was shuffling the cards, my question was to my crew was, well, what 7 weeks? Convoy to Canberra, which is still going. What is the convoy doing? What did the convoy do? What did the convoy to Canberra do? And then I was thinking about all of the convoys, but let's just focus on the convoy to Canberra, the one that we all did, yeah? The ones that really rocked up there, representing so many people. Well, this card fell out, and this card is a card of change. It's a cycle changing. It's the simple death and rebirth card. Something finishes for something new to come. But it's a continual perpetuation and a transfer of energy as well. So it's almost like the positive side. No, it is the positive side of change. Okay, now I just went, well, usually I don't always do the cards that fall out, but I went, wow, this is amazing. So I'm going to leave that as the central card. And I'm just going to continue shuffling as I would. And I just can't believe that it's 7 weeks, So I'm just going to shuffle the cards. Well, I really agree with them. I really sincerely agree because, as I described, this is the transfer of energy. It's the positive side of change, not the negative side, but something was also beginning. All right, and then we've got the universe, and the universe is the unity. And I felt it firsthand down there. The unity was incredible. You really couldn't go anywhere without helping out. And there was this beautiful energy of unity, and it was a universal law that I saw there, which is the harmony and balance and love and unity, and the sort of society, the community that we want, we're manifesting it. So it got us out of all the confines of all of the machinery, the machinations, and it helped us to come home into this energy that is something we've all held. And I dare say a lot of us being from other star systems and being star seeds, we earthed it, we brought it here, we did it. And instead of it being the road to nowhere and it being all the deception of the world, it and all that down depressive sort of energy, we ended up giving birth to a new beginning. That's what this card is saying. The change was created that gave a birth to the beginning. And so the end of something to begin something. Okay, so one of the things that I know that I keep getting messages from my crew is that the amount of people who turned up sent a ripple. Everybody who turned up on the convoy sent a ripple of free will against the system, but also brought in the community energy. It wasn't just a protest, it was actually standing in their power. It was the that doesn't exist, we want this. And that's more powerful than just saying, no, stop that. It's like the language that we use is so important. Like the most successful protest, if you want to put it, or mechanism was lock the gate. And we need to get that kind of energy going. It's stop plays into the subconscious crazy spell magic. And we need to all have this lock the gate attitude, which is enough out there, it stays out there. And the more that we all have it, the more that we all connect, the smaller the group of control that can be hoodwinked into being part of the matrix. Okay, there's the message there. And so the universe is really, really happy. Okay, really happy because it actually got that ripple happening. It got, as I think maybe you've heard me say, but it's been like CPR on the heart chakra. So even though people don't really believe in chakras, it doesn't really matter to me. So it's all about that birth, that new birth and that new beginning. And this is incredible because Prince of Cups, Sun of Transformation. So it's between emotion and reason, and it's all of the sacrifices that everybody has done. It's all the sacrifices and all of these difficult times that gets you in contact with your inner and upper self, like a higher part of yourself. And these are the processes of the Great Awakening. So it's sort of like, instead of all the selfishness and all of that and the sort of no sensitivity and everything, there's so much love and sympathy and sincerity and warmth. And I saw that in Canberra, and I'm going to transfer that up to the community, what the community is doing in the devastation up here. It is the same energy. It's just magical. So that they're very, very happy about it. The universe is the people. I'd say it's all of the wonderful wars out there that we've been fighting really have been fantastic. And this is a confirmation here. Okay. What did it do? Wow. Some new beginning here. Something fresh and new. This is really neat. Oh, come on. So again, we have that energy. There was an energy last week, and it was that secret love source, that secret source that we have, that really amazing source that we have, especially in unity and giving. So in that unity and in that giving and in that secret source, what's happened out of it is this energy, okay? That's what has actually activated it, which is just beautiful. I'm so pleased that it's actually activated this ripple through. Not kidding, it really happened. So this is totally confirming what I witnessed. And with that super secret source, all the contradictions got washed with it. All of the crazy inconsistencies got washed with it, so that divine masculine feminine could rise into the higher part of self. And it's true. People are so led and were so guided down there. It was something really large. It was a mission, So what it was a mission to take that next step, and it was based on everybody's individual stages of transformation. And I absolutely saw that. So it's still going, which is really magical. And changes do only occur with a bit of pain. So this is just on the convoy, and we all know what happened to us with all of the weaponry, etc., and all of the terrible things that sort of went on. But at the same time, we were all witness to that. We were witness to that darkness and all of the sort of things that surrounded that, so that then that change could occur, so that individual was born again, because we're going into individuation, not homogenization, which is where they've been taking us. So it's actually created that. So if everybody's sort of like trying to still make everybody the same sort of person, then they need to just shift into a slightly higher frequency, because we've got a whole bunch of other energies coming in. And I'm sure we can all feel that, because we all need to do some incredibly brave decisions, really, really brave decisions on what's going on what's going around you. And it's about all of those opposite things. We need to basically go sifting through them to complete the whole unity cycle, which is just incredible, to complete this universal cycle of change and transformation. This is really powerful stuff. Very, very powerful stuff. Okay, so then we move over to these energies that are still around. Well, that's so true. Everybody needs so much stamina, because if you think about the times, it's really unstable, and nobody has any of the material assurance that we've ever had. It's all kind of gone wobbly, hasn't it? And so out of that kind of real physical environment, which is what the card was saying just before about that environment, what's around you, then it's like creating and developing a stamina. And then it takes us into also looking over the field and going, right, it's a fertility kind of energy as well, which is, there's a word called fecund. And of course, you know what words came out of that, but it is that powerful energy, that powerful feminine energy to birth things, okay? It is the all the different forms uniting for the strength to occur, for that maturity to occur. And it's all about vitality and creativity and patience and sensibility, being trustworthy, because everyone's going through that at the moment, especially when it comes to infiltrators. Infiltrators don't even know they're infiltrators as far as I can tell. And I've noticed it happening in Canberra. We all saw it. We genuine ones who just simply want the government dissolved and all of this rubbish that system we're in dissolved. We saw it. We were patient. Now the same thing is occurring. So there's up in the catastrophe zones. But I dare say it's part of this transformation for if you do not know thy enemy, you know, that type of thing. And also people are doing their best, but then there's also interference. So with the Queen there, it's about developing a really strong stamina. It's that sort of about creating a really stable, safe foundation. How are we going to do it? So we've got to start thinking about these types of things. And that's what obviously the convoy has created, is an opportunity for this to happen. And along the way, we kind of need to have a little bit of fun with it, you know, because a new phase, it hasn't quite emerged yet, but we are creating it at the moment with this beautiful fun, innocence, unity from the heart, caring, sharing, creating. So with this 4 here, it's actually that really new energy that comes in that completes this cycle, okay? This is the first one, this is the last one. So to kick off this wonderful change that has occurred, then we need to get into the innocent, fun, joyful, having a little bit of fun, okay? So that then when it comes time, when we lift our energy, and in doing that lifting of the energy, we'll be able to see the new phase coming through the mist. And until we raise our frequency a little bit, we won't be able to see the emerging newness coming through that we've all been creating this entire time. You know, it is a beginning. Everything in this here is a completion, a change, a beginning, new, wonderful things. New, wonderful things. So it is about a time of actually reaching in and not knowing what's going to happen. And we have to come back down deep into ourselves to know exactly who you are. Because if you know thyself, they can't rattle you. They can't rattle you. And so that's just beautiful. And coming over to the cup overfloweth, which is just gorgeous, there is a whole bunch of faith coming deep inside, and it's there for you to capture within your vessel. And it's there. And it is the beautiful source, secret source, but it's coming down from Creator, which is just a little, because when we can raise our energy and joy, we can feel love. And when we can feel that love, then we can actually manifest different things. So it's a time that we're trying to manifest. It's, you know, trusting in ourselves, know thyself, and then trusting self and really going for that higher goal that we're here for. Because we've got to match the happiness within to manifest the happiness on the outside. It's about a real goodness, a really lovely goodness. So we have the energy pouring down. I dare say we're all going through what we used to call ascension symptoms. So something that I really noticed driving through my community, I just had to make a decision. I must let go of how everything used to be. I must let go of it. I must let go of it so that the new can come in. Because if I try to manifest it back into existence, the system that already has been here, which we know is a bit, can't use that language, then we're going to manifest it again. So it's about really letting go of all of the systems in the sense that in your heart and with the love source, get that fun and enjoyment in yourself to start thinking about how things could be. Like really start thinking about how life could be with free energy, how life could be with Nazara, true Nazara. The things that we're heading towards and what that would mean, because we have to remove that old system to have it. It's as simple as that. And we've got a little way to go yet. But the more people who get on board to manifesting something completely different, the quicker it's going to happen. We all know that stuff. Okay, so just the energy just up above. Just a little bit in the future. Probably by the weekend. I'm not sure. But just a little bit further on the reading. Convoy to Canberra. What did it do? What can it do? What is that energy doing? And I'm pretty excited about it. So this part here, we'll go for that. So again, we've got to shine the light. It's a really simple card. Also, that's a massive portal. When you know how it all works out there. So I know that there's a massive amount of darkness because they sent the legions in. So there's a word I absolutely love, and it's called astral hygiene. I'm pretty sure it's Dan Winter said that one. And astral hygiene is about you knowing what is affecting you on the spiritual and quantum physics type of level. Okay, so with that light, it can shine if we know that there is stuff that is not of us, on us, making our emotional bodies operate, our mental bodies operate. So emotional and mental hygiene, we know those ones, but astral hygiene, or you can do it so simply as bring down a column of light and ask everything that is not yours to leave immediately. Come down from Prime Creator. And just make the intention, because we're in a very powerful place at the moment, incredibly powerful place. So we bring the light in. It looks to me that light is now going to absolutely shatter that design that they've had, which is just pretty exciting, isn't it? Very exciting. So, of course, it's the opposite as well, because the sun is love and light, and it soothes all confusions and all discomfort and all those little fears, etc. It soothes it. Yet, if we don't make that step into our own responsibility, this energy is still going to operate. This is the hard part. This is probably the test at the moment. So with this energy, it's that energy that loves evil and just always wants to make the crap into gold, okay? It is a really tricky energy because it needs power and it operates off your energy battery. But it doesn't want to shift. We have to make it shift. So, it's all that dark stuff. So that all entrapping everybody in the matrix, etc., those types of things. So with shining the light, it's going to break that down. And then we've got the Six of Cups. Because once we get that kind of all shampooed out of our hair, shampooed out of our lives, it can't exist. And then what happens is that we have the ability for new life to sprout. It's like getting the whole garden bed just right. You put your seeds in, and then after all of the absolute devastation, crap, decay, new life can sprout. So we're heading into new life can sprout. That's pretty exciting to me because we haven't quite been there at this point. So it is that coupling of the emotional desire and the creative capacity that we have. So it's balance and it's harmony. But it has to be an inner strength that it comes from, not a reaction. So the water can flow properly. Which is joy, remember, joy and harmony. So with that kind of ability, that's what the guidance has been here with, is to get to that kind of joyful love source, all that type of energy, so then we can get the new life sprouting out of all the ruin that they have created, all the decay. And the next lot of energy they want to talk to you about is this is the magic and the dark magic that they've used against it. They hijacked from us. It is our own inner, the very thing that they don't want us to be, the very thing they slag us on, and stole and turned into a very, very bad image. When we get our own power, we light up, we have trust and we have belief, and then we know the truth. So with that kind of part of the energy, we've got to take that power of ourselves back, because as you know, you've heard it 1,000 times, we are way more powerful. We are beautiful and delightful. Look at what community can do. And if we can just get into that, the different minutiae machinations of that inner true capacity that we have, which is, say, if you put science and you put dogma, and you've been through it all, and you understand that not all science tells the truth, and in its perspective it's right on that one, but applied in life it doesn't work. To the same thing with dogma religion, and you get out of that the absolute trust, belief and connection. That's where they're asking you to go. They're really asking you to go, instead of all the other terrible stuff that they've done. And out of it, the gain that we got, gain, lovely. It will help with the materialization, happiness, getting that, it all happening. And it's going to happen on the outside. Outside then can experience that it actually works, that the natural belief in our natural abilities, our natural instincts, we're going to see it. We're actually going to start to see it, because the emotional experience will then relate to it being manifest from us, which is going to give us a lot more trust and faith. And of course, then a whole bunch of material prosperity and increase in our wealth, etc., can occur. And of course, it's going to look quite different to what we're used to. It's going to be quite different. So it's going to give a whole bunch of satisfaction. And instead of it being where we've got the wobbly boots on our material assurance, stability, it's going to solidify it up. So this is really good, getting into your power. And then the Princess of Wands, it's to be done with enthusiasm and, of course, really ramping up that love juice and this love source, I should say, and bringing in your natural passions, etc. The same as with the same sort of energy that gets really mistaken, that all that passion rises and it becomes sexual. Let's harness that energy and let's put it to really good work, okay? Instead of the training that you've all been under, which is to just explode that sex out, then you've got to harness it and find the love within yourself, enthusiastic bravery, beauty and power, and hold it. Hold that in you so that we can create, because you're losing the power if you're just doing the whole passion is sex, okay? And this is a big lesson for people to harness. And we can actually put it to this type of energy that if you're sannyasi, which is monk, then you hold that in and you utilize it for your spiritual growth, okay? And it's kind of asking you to redirect that loose energy that is going on, that kind of loose energy, to harness it back in and use it to create and manifest. Okay, well, that was a pretty big reading, wasn't it? It's ended now. You beautiful people, everybody affected by the catastrophe. This is a reading on the catastrophe. I don't know what it's going to say. But here we go. We've got the Knight of Discs, which is that looking out over the harvest and how much it took, and it's almost like with military precision. that the amount of energy that it takes to have that energy of the harvest to come in, and the amount of energy it takes to produce results. That is where it's sort of at. To maintain it, it's about being tangible things, and creating a stability, etc. And then there's also having strength, because this is an interesting card, because I've seen it with my own eyes. Out where we get what I would call interference. It's about everybody, the community, having perseverance through this, because you have to sort of push against that authoritarian energy that's around, because it wants to hold everything how it was, and it's also who owns all of the natural resources. We do. No, they do not. We are custodians over it. We are made of it, all the natural resources. So it's going to show everybody who controls, and who exploits that type of energy. Very, very interesting. So they're looking like, so it's all about perseverance and that certain strength and patience, because we're in need of that energy to hold that type of energy so we can get to that success level, so things can change. That's one step past change into success. So that innocent folly that was being talked about before, that's where you're a joker. And I've got to say that sometimes I have to pull myself up on some of the things that I was going to say. But hopefully in with the heart of joy and happiness and being a bit silly about things, this card is about affluence, right? And really a lot of the problem and the smell that everybody's been putting up is because of effluent. And years ago I used to call the affluent people the effluents. So, and because of the, because I just found it funny. It's just naughty. Anyway, so if we can get, our success was going to come about overcoming the crisis. So it's actually the true affluence, not effluence. It's actually getting over the top, overcoming the effluence. So it's overcoming the crisis. Okay. Harmony and abundance. And haven't you seen it? It's out there. It's the charity for which our beautiful community just naturally has, and for which everybody has been withheld from doing because of all the division. So that beautiful happiness and prosperity, is the part that is coming out of the immense amount of energy, it's taking to create this from each and everybody who has that beautiful natural resource, your soul. It is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So when it comes to this one, we've got a mental aspect going on here, which is you've got to find that central point. And what was just said is a beautiful central point for which to bounce off, to come from. And it's also about that social justice, having the empathy, and taking the time out to contemplate things, it's about finding that peace within your own self-awareness, and to really, really, really understand the meaning of suffering, because out of that, all that loneliness, illness, all of the things that happen, your stability will come back out as a success by just understanding. I'm sorry that that's what the card's saying, to then come back to a central point of peace. Out of the suffering, come back to a central point of peace, to find it. Really find a central point of peace. Just think of one beautiful thing that has happened today or yesterday, over and above the totally shitty effluence that happened as well. Okay. Lots of mental coming up here. So with that truth and with that peace, they're going to take you into a little bit of sharing here. So to get to that place of peace, out of your suffering, then we just have to find all of that energy, all of that wonderful energy that's been fired up and blocked off, is instead in taking the light and the dark, okay, and then getting a balance, the light and the dark, because if you get too much of the dark, it will spin you out, create confusion. And if we can get that balance between the light and the dark and find that momentary part in the middle where you fire up, it will bring you, instead of futility, it will bring you peace. Okay? So you've got these kind of feeling all wrecked, chipped, and, not feeling really good. Like, what's the point? What is the point? The point's chipping. It's all the deception and the cunning and the, stupid trust and all the dishonesty. It's that type of energy. But out of that, you can get wisdom. And you can get that really smart, instead of you being underneath that mismatched energy and appearing to be weak, you can actually turn it around to be a powerful force. And so that peaceful stance, that finding that mental ability to just tilt instead of all of the dark taking over, knowing light and dark is there, knowing it's there, but firing up your passion and your energy to actually harness and override. Harness and override. Because this is all the psychological trauma, right? So psychological trauma and conflict is when we're not sort of embodying our creative powers, even through all of the suffering. So it's saying through all of that suffering, psychological trauma and conflict, it's like getting that spiritual truth, the unconscious and the conscious capacity to come together into peace. This is a dreadful, horrible, yucky place to be. So just finding that inner peace, because as we know, safety and peace comes from within as well. It comes from within, and then it will move out of the body and manifest. And the suffering has been so tremendous that I hope you don't find this insulting. I hope some are finding this helpful. I really hope that is true. So when you've got that terrible disappointment, which is when your cup runneth dry, that horrible, horrible feeling, which really I can really feel that's all the way through the consciousness around here. It's that real suffering again. It's the tears, of course. And out of that, it's so hard. How can you see the light? How can you see the future? How are you going to do it? How? Because you feel so disappointed. And in the spiritual, emotional maturity, when we have disappointment, it means we have expectation, perhaps, of just it being the same way all the time. And the hard part is still being in the crisis, because it's still around, which is so true. And of course, quite natural to be feeling bitter and depressed. Like, it's just a natural state in this moment. So with that great big field, the Knight of Swords is asking that beautiful, active, intelligent part of yourself that is the spirit of the storm. Take a little bit of a cautious stance on your thoughts, just a little bit of caution, and get that abstract thinking, mental strength, out of your own true nature, that can change everything. And of course, even when it gets just too stressful, this is the time to do it, because all we want to do when it gets like that is criticize harshly, be bitter, and all of those sorts of things, which is the trick that they have trained everyone to do, which is the pitfall of a mental hygiene. So if we get to that point, then we've got to find a way to get some abstract thinking Yeah, totally different. Just start giving yourself a little bit of a different energy in your thinking pattern. Sometimes we need to disturb that thinking pattern, that train of thought. And the Queen of Discs here is about developing that really strong stamina. For some reason, everyone has been chosen to go through this, to go through this terrible catastrophe. And whoever did it, it's still something you've got to work through. So with that material assurance is where you want to be focusing this energy. How can I make my family stable and safe? What is that beautiful feminine energy that is so strong and powerful that manifests and creates a united form? It's these types of energies that are being asked to bring in. It's patience, sensibility, and being trustworthy. So there's a lot of energy there to consider. And I don't find it very hard saying these things, mind you, because really when you're in a difficult situation, it's not always easy to hear these things. But anyway, only for those who are willing to hear. It's hard, isn't it? And I just have feeling too. Okay, now let's have a look at this down here, energy coming up. So it's about trust and safety and success, and about strength and getting strengthened. It's all about trust and harmony. It's about this certain confidence in your creating and the new start that's happening. It's about that type of energy. So it is about having that virtue that you got it, basically. You got this, because it's a new start. It's something quite different, this energy that's about. This is a new start. You've got to be really, really confident. But know also when you're expending too much energy in resting, okay? Knowing and that, if you're feeling really down, know that you're feeling down and try to get onto it pretty quickly. And checking your own, because that's what virtue is all about, is about being self-responsible. So if you really think, put your hand out for help, assistance, support, and know where your behaviours are coming from. And this is a massive journey and that you're on, massive, massive journey. So with that kind of energy, the confidence in your creativity and the trust in the success that you're going to have is in fact really helping for the systems to break down and for the systems to fall down. Because the Tower is a really huge card. It's when, the candy coating of all of the things that are being offered, it gets cracked open and you can see it for what it really is. That type of energy. It's the pain, the terrible pain, and in the production of new things. Okay, same energy, just a slightly different level. In the way that it is all about your values. So it's about nullifying things that have gone by. So it's about the knowing what you like, do like, to know what you don't like, to know what you don't like, to know what you do like, what you really, where you're going and how to get there. And it's that sort of sifting through everything. And it's about stepping into also part of your authentic self, to be able to get through this incredible blind destruction that has occurred. And it's also this incredible energy that, it takes a lot of force to break the boundaries of all the old standards, okay? It's just where we're at. It is a massive amount of energy that is required to shift and change the system. And this is where it's coming from. And then, of course, having a little bit of fun along the way. Oh, my gosh. But it's about the new phase in life. And you know what it's like when there's something new and it's a really good feeling and you get excited about it. So it's going to help, harnessing that energy is going to really help, by having a little bit of fun while all of this goes on. So this is a huge task, absolutely huge task that they're saying. And so the other energies that are around as well. So what this card here, the worry card, is all about knowing what that meaningless stuff is. Because if we're trying to hold on, that gives us a lot of worry, okay, and it creates anxiety, etc. And it's about like willing to it readies you for change, basically. So it's like a test card as well, and it's like nothing like a good old crisis to test you. Well, for gosh sakes, this one's a hugie. So there's that light. Yeah, that's the most important. But light is shed on the things that are meaningless. And if we can get to that, then the shadow world fails. So it's an important card, that one. With the Prince of Discs over here, it's about taking that contemplation, contemplating emotional security, contemplating what innovative kind of new way we can do things. That's what is being asked here, as you can hear through everything. It's about creating something a little bit different, even the difficulty of doing something different, because the only way to get the system changed is to start pushing this kind of energy. And it takes so much energy to get it done. It takes the meditative state. So it's going to take diligence and concentration, and it's an endurance. Okay, it's a real endurance about really being practical, on the way nature of people are, about the way things work, about how things measure up, these types of things. So it's really about getting that practical direction going for yourselves, that real practical direction, instead of it being stagnant. So with that, there's a lot of mental battle going on as well. So with the mental battle, the Prince of Swords, it's again out of it, because it's unexpected change, and unexpected change absolutely seeks solutions. And the one solution one needs to find is to break down the old chains, all of the things that have held you in short-sightedness, destructive, whatever, in this pattern that whatever is around. It's about tapping into the creative spirit again. Okay, exciting ideas and thoughts, and then creating an even bigger unexpected change in return, creating something completely different. And on that note, I'm going to ask everybody who's listening to this to just join me. And of course, you can all come over and book a session with me, purchase a pendant, etc., to keep me going, if you so choose, over at amandaduet.com. And remember to subscribe. That'd be great. So I really want you to just join in with me, because all of the light workers that are listening to this ask that you do your cleansing process and bring down the light and set your intention to set forth the light of love and peace and harmony, prosperity, stability into Australia and New Zealand. And together our arms are linked all over, and we're sending this light into the absolute earth so the earth can settle. And then once the earth settles, with permission, we're going to now ask that that settling energy spread through the feet of all of our brothers and sisters in Australia and New Zealand. And now that light and that stability in the feet may, through free will and choice, anybody who can send the beautiful love through heart, we're bringing down upon all the people into the heart chakra just the pure creative force from Prime Creator, from Prime Creator's heart, and pouring it into everyone's heart. That they are loved, cared for. They are in a community. And it is a beautiful, beautiful feeling to be individual, yet part of a community. And as we bring that beautiful love into our hearts, we shine it through each other to everybody, through your neighbourhood, through your suburb, through your town or your city, until it goes all the way out in a great big circle and covers all the way over from New Zealand to Sydney. And then if we stand with New Zealand at our backs and Sydney in front of us, and we spread it all the way up the east coast, down into the oceans, and all around the seaboard, down to Tasmania, around Tasmania, we send it all the way up to the top of Queensland and then across Northern Territory, all of those bays everywhere, and it goes all the way around the coast in all of the meridians. We send our love through all of the meridians for healing, if it is the free will of the universe, our pure love universe. We send it deep into the earth and through absolutely every individual on this terra. And it's moving all the way over to the Western Australian border, from the coast of the eastern seaboard all the way across to the western seaboard, and from north to south, from east to west. And it's just moving through everybody, and we're just going to sit with that for as long as you can hold the energy. And I thank you for your love. And I want you to keep it going, and I'll talk to you another time.